Hey yo, it's Tony the Tiger here tonight, and I'm gonna be serving y'all a feature match fresh out of the kitchen. Let's see who's cooking and who's gonna get cooked. On the right side, we have our boy Ayer on Power Patron DoomZ, list that he used to top nationals. I'm so really proud of him there. And on the left hand side, we have Maliss, a deck that somehow still playable here some 2 years after being released. See them finish up the die roll, and looks like we're gonna have Power Patron DoomZ going first, right where it wants to be, drawing up hands now. Let's see, he's going to start with a copy of the Archmage Assault. Going to just be a copy of Rhoda for Medius, the boy who can do literally anything in the game if you let him go completely uninterrupted. From there, see how he follows this up. We're going to start with a Etherealized Past Lull. This is just functioning as E-Telly for Medius from either the hand or the deck. Going to be summoning that guy from the hand. And we see that met with Impulse, but remember that the Etherealized Past Lull is going to make that essentially spell speed 4, so we could not have done that. So unfortunate setting to him passing. Maliss player starting his turn with a copy of Terraforming, going for that Maliss in the underground, classic Maliss thing, just in theme Gold Sark. Going to follow it up with Allure of Darkness. Gotta love Pot of Greed in 2026, am I right? Banishing the March Hare, paying 300 to add it right back to the hand. And we follow it up with Maliss and Underground. Going to banish perhaps a Dormouse, White Rabbit, just anything to get our plays started here on the left-hand side. And we do see that Starlight Sam Collection, White Rabbit, getting met with Imperm on Summon. So going to deny us of that trap card. However, we know Maliss link spam decks like it. If you don't clear these bodies, they can just keep going and keep going, keep climbing into those link 3s. That is not where you want to be if you're the DoomZ duelist. Linking off into Lingaribo. And we're going to keep playing with a normal summon of the March Hare, linking 2 into Cyber's Wicked, card that's really aged well over the years, especially finding its home in a deck like Maliss. Gonna March Hare, banish March Hare, Wicked, banish Lingaribo, and we might see some form of interaction on the right side from the DoomZ player. Going to be able to cut off the search for that tuner backup at Ignister, but if we don't have a way to clear these bodies, we do just have a link 2 and a link 1, and that does equal a Maliss Queen Red Ransom, which would not spell anything good for the right side. We see Cyber's Wicked get hit by Imperm, and we're just going to keep playing on. We're going to link 3 for Red Ransom, search the Mirror. Mirror, going to negate the Medius, banish the Ransom, paying 900 to bring it right back, and banish the Mouse, paying 300 to bring back the Dormouse. Dormouse to banish the cat, paying 300 to banish the cat and bring it back. You know, just classic Maliss things. We all know how it goes. Thinking about where he wants to go from here, a little bit difficult to go for any of his OTK lines, given that by now we've already gone through every main deck name. We're going to see him link 3 into the Heart's Cryptor. So perhaps going for a little bit of a slower game. Nothing wrong with that. Your opponent couldn't really play through the one interaction that you had, and they only have one card in hand. So unless that top deck is crazy and you have no interaction, this is probably just going to be enough. Going to beat over the copy of Medius Superior. We see him pass. And do we have anything to play with here? We go for the Medius Superior in the graveyard. Going to let him shuffle back a monster from hand or field. Going to shuffle back that copy of Vidolium to summon, use the Medius effect on summon, and do we see any sort of hand trap for this? We see Ash, and can we play through this? Nope, that is all she wrote. So we do see the DoomZ duelist scoop up game 1. Do keep in mind that game 1 probably would have gone a little bit differently if you remembered that little clause on Past Lull that you cannot respond from the opponent's side on the summon of the Medius. But you know what happens, new cards. Just make sure to read those little lines of text, you know, secret DLC effects on some of these cards. In the meantime, while they are citing, we do want to say we are happy to see the channel growing, especially after our nationals top here a few weeks ago. So thank you to anybody new joining the channel. And let us know how you guys like this content. I'm going to be starting to do this commentary more and more often, and we have more various types of content planned to be coming out here in the upcoming weeks and months. So just really exciting stuff. If you guys have any suggestions for feature matches or ways to improve, please feel free to let us know down in the comment section below. But thinking about the game again, probably going to see counter traps getting sighted in on the right-hand side for the DoomZ Duelist just to reinforce our already broken going first board. On the left-hand side, really just going to try to rely on Charmies and that really great non-engine, Dominus Spark, Dominus Impulse. Really the reasons why Maliss has lasted this long in the format, just able to play some of the most broken non-engine that we have. And at this point, that deck is really just a bunch of really, really good Cyrus monsters glued together by really insane non-engine. But, you know, in this day and age, it's really all you need. Stop the opponent. And as long as I got a one-card starter, we are playing Yu-Gi-Oh! We see our duelists pass the decks, and looks like we got a game 2 on our hands, people. Our DoomZ Duelist is going to start. Oh, no, we're going to see a Perulia from the Maliss Duelist in the standby phase, and our DoomZ Duelist start with a copy of Terminus, dumping the Nervetto and adding Vidolium. Going to activate the Vidolium in the Pendulum Scale, using its effect to special summon the Nervetto from the graveyard. When it hits the extra deck, going to let him search any Power Patron card. One of the really great things about these Power Patron Pendulums, even when you interact with them, they still just plus and plus and plus. Where does he want to take this from here? World is pretty much his oyster. We're going to discard to Contact Fuse into the Non-Finito. Going to go Chainlink 1 Nervetto, Chainlink 2 Non-Finito. This is going to let him E-Telly any Power Patron from the deck, as well as set an Archmage Speller Trap from the deck. Going to see him set the copy of Recapture, a really great card for the Archmage deck. Definitely step that deck up a ton. And we're going to see him summon the Ginoldo. Yeah, definitely want to take a read here if you're the Maliss player. Do not want to be confused about what that card does. Yep, it does in fact say we can activate the same turn it's set for whatever reason. We're going to see him activate the Theorealized Pass Lull because we control an Archmage, Power Patron, or Doom's card. Sorry, Archmage, Elf Note, or Doom's card. We're going to be able to E-Telly Medius. And on summon, Medius can add or E-Telly a Power Patron. We do see on the right-hand side him realize that we could not have impulsed the Medius in game 1. But nonetheless, it happens. Realistically, we should have seen Impulse on the Pass Lull itself, but new cards, not everybody's super familiar with what it's doing. Anyways, the Medius is going to summon Geppetto, personally my favorite of the 3 Power Patron Pendulums. It's probably the craziest and looks the best. Going to see him link those 2 Pendulums off into Beyond the Pendulum, going Chainlink 1 Ginoldo, Chainlink 2 Geppetto, and Chainlink 3 Beyond the Pendulum. Got a beautiful little Chainlink stacking up here. Going to see that resolve, searching for the Shade the Obscure, really great TCG exclusive out of Blazing Dominion. Searching for Doom's Change, and we could see adding back potentially the Nervetto from the extra deck. And no, we're going to go ahead and add the Vidolia back from the graveyard with that Ginoldo. Going to activate the Field Spell, really great extender. Definitely not a card you want to start off with, but when you're in a position like this, it's a really great card to just keep pushing your plays forward and forward. Going to let him reveal any Power Patron from the extra deck. We're going to see him reveal the copy of Jupiter. Going to let him either add or summon the Geppetto. We're going to add that to hand, scale him up as well as the Shade the Obscure. And those are Pendulum skills. We're going to pendulum out the Ginoldo as well as the Geppetto. And from here, link off into Beyond's Big Sister Exceed. Going to add back that Ginoldo, just throwing that thing back and forth between the extra deck like it's crazy. Where do we want to go from here? We go Doom's Change, really crazy card. Just going to pop any Doom's card out of the deck. Let's see what he decides to go for. It's the Baby Patron, the Baby Power Patron Dooms. Gonna, oh, we see, yep, he did in fact forget to banish a card face down from his hand off of the Vidolia, but it happens. Doesn't really change much about the game state, but just keep that in mind as well as with the Pendulums. They do have that as cost to banish cards face down, so just make sure you're not getting cheated or forgetting that yourself. And the Baby Patron's going to go ahead and search a copy of Raiders, basically Zodiac Barrage for those of you who have been around for long enough. Going to use the Exceed the Pendulum to summon Ginoldo out from the hand, giving our opponent 1 draw, and we got to see a rank 10 into Mercurium. Can't imagine this is going to attach any fun card. Yep, Spell Canceller, yep. This sounds about right. Going to link off into Charmer Quartet. Genuinely have no idea what these guys are planning on. When they printed this card, it just screams, let me commit war crimes on my opponent. Going to attempt to use this effect, but the opponent's going to hit us with Dominus Impulse, just going to cut us off of that Reborn 2. We're going to keep going, though. We're going to Doom's Raiders destroy that copy of a Moth in our hand. Summoning out the Alara from deck. Going Alara and a Moth in sequence to set the Adrastia. And add, I imagine, a copy of the Drastia. Yep, we got that Drastia looking great in Starlight. getting added to our hand by the Amalth. We're going to go ahead, overlay, potentially, thinking about our plays, thinking about our sequencing. Definitely want to take your time, especially in a position like this. You don't want to let the game get away from you when you're already in such a commanding position. Going to overlay for the rank 4 Dugares. We apologize about the glare there. Going to activate the Adrastea on the Dugares. Activate Drastea on Adrastea. Say that 10 times fast. Equipping the Doomderg from deck onto it in the same chain, giving our opponent one more draw. We could potentially see Dugares drawing 2, doing something with that Drastea effect being given to it by the Doomderg to pop a card we control. Where do we want to go from here? We're going to use the Drastea effect, I imagine, to pop a card we control. We're going to pop that Shade the Obscure, just making room for us to set a card. And we see Dominus Spark. Unfortunate on the right-hand side, essentially just throwing away those 2 bodies because of sequencing, but it happens. We're still in a very commanding position. We have the Non-Finito with the counter trap set. We have the Drastea, which already sets up so much interruption, being able to pop the Raiders, rank up and equip, as well as negate a monster with the Drasteas and equip, and 1 unknown face down. And unless the Maliss player has a really gas-full hand, it's going to be really hard to push through this. We're going to see him start with Gamma Seal, essentially just shutting off that copy of the counter trap, asking to look at the graveyard. Not a ton that does anything on the opponent's turn there, but definitely want to be careful. We're going to normal summon Chessy Cat, immediately meet that with the Drastea effect to pop. Chain called by the opponent's just saying, target anything. I know this game's over. And we see him throw his cards on the table. Spark and Impulse are crazy cards, but not when you see 4 in your hand. It's a classic Maliss experience. 5 non-engine, and then the 1 engine card you have is Chessy Cat. Gotta love when that happens. So a few things about that game. Definitely could have maybe thought about sequencing better with that Dugares. Definitely wanted to maybe equip that Adrastea to the Charmer Quartet instead, because our opponent could have just gone Dominus Spark in response to the Adrastea in hand to banish the Dugares, and we would have been a little cooked there on the Doom side. Just little things to think about as these games go on, but we live and we learn. Thinking about game 3, likely going to see cards come in like Mistaken Arrest or Dimensional Fissure from the Maliss player, just those super broken cards that say, you are not going to be able to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Today, my friend. Another reason why they've been able to keep on pushing through and holding on strong in potentially top 10, 15 decks over the last 2 years. Some would argue even higher than that, depending on the format. On the right-hand side, though, probably going to see our Molcharmies come back in. We know he likes to play Pot of Sloth. Really great card coming out of Chaos Origins, basically giving Yu-Gi-Oh! Its own mulligan. Gonna say, I don't get to play it all non-engine, but my hand might not be great going second. Let me just pick my hand instead, drawing 1 card for every card the opponent controls and putting that -1 back. Really great card if you're playing any of these decks, especially Power Patron decks that can't afford to play too much non-engine. You really want to be playing super impactful cards that are able to do a lot on their own, and Pot of Sloth is definitely one of those cards. Definitely a little scary with stuff like Spell Canceller in the format, but especially when you're going into Maliss, you're probably not expecting that. We've seen some combos that are able to do it, but it's definitely not the norm as of yet. We see them shuffling up, and maybe we get past a turn 3 with this. Maybe we see a little bit more interaction, but we'll see where they decide to go. I imagine Maliss probably going first. Definitely do not want to let this Power Patron deck go first. Game 3. All of these Power Patron decks, whether you're doing Power Patron Archmage, Pure Power Patron DoomZ, Power Patron Elfnet, they all do so much just because all of these cards are just so versatile and well made to interact with the opponent. We see them drawing up their cards, the Maliss player raring to go, and tit for tat, we're going to see the Power Patron DoomZ Duelist drop a copy of Perulia in the standby phase. Our Maliss Duelist start with Alert of Darkness, drawing 2, banishing the copy of Chessy Cat, summoning it back, and do we have a way to follow this up? No, it just looks like we're going to go ahead and set 2. That is a Maliss hand for game 3 if I've ever seen one. It's one of the issues with all these consistency hits. Your deck can play a very great game if it's able to go off, but that is a very big if. We're going to see Pot of Sloth start out the turn like we talked about, inciting and let him draw 3, put back 2. Just getting that perfect hand to capitalize on the opponent not really being able to set up much, but We are hitting that with the Ash Blossom. We do not want to see our opponent draw cards. And, of course, Triple Tactics Talent's going to say, no, sir, you're going to let me draw my 2 cards today. You're not going to deny me that. Do we have a way to keep going? We do see some engine here on the right-hand side. How do we want to start this off? Definitely Game 3, you have plenty of time. These first 2 games have gone by pretty quickly, so definitely want to take your time if you have it allotted to in Game 3. Don't want to misplay or accidentally lose this just by rushing. We see him start with Doom's Change, going to let him destroy any Doom's card from the deck. And we are going to destroy the copy of a Maliss, going to let us search for a monster, and that's met with Mistaken Arrest. These broken side deck Maliss cards just able to completely shut off gameplay for the opponent, especially a deck like this that does have to do quite a bit of searching. We're going to follow it up with, sorry about the glare, but that is a copy of Alara. This is going to let us set a Doomspell trap from the deck. Definitely a really great thing. A lot of these cards coming out saying set instead of add. Really able to play through cards like Ash Blossom, even cards like Mistaken Arrest. We see him equip the Doomdur, attempt to rank up, but we are going to be hit with Book of Eclipse. Unfortunate. Going to deny our opponent of that rank up into the Diactorus. Do we have a way to follow it up here? Going to be pretty hard with Mistaken Arrest and having used our normal summon. Do we have a follow-up play? And no, we're just going to go to the end phase, flip our Alara up, and draw 1. Can the Maliss player capitalize on this now? We're going to flip up that Chessy Cat. And nope, we're just going to beat over that Alara. This is a prison match, dude. This is a Game 3 of YGO if I've ever seen one. You're going to activate a card. I'm going to say no. I'm going to activate a card. You're going to see no. And we're going to see who runs out of cards first. Let's see what we're starting off with. We saw Doom's Change, but just thinking about that real quick, what do we want to do? We're going to go ahead and activate that copy of Doom's Change. Going to destroy a monster from the deck again. We may get some deja vu of last turn. Going to destroy Alara, and we see that hit with a copy of Called by the Grave. Classic Game 3 stuff. One-ofs being thrown out on both sides. We're going to scale the Genoto, scale the Shade, the Obscure, and give ourselves a nice little Pendulum Summon. We do see in Pendulum Summon the Power Patron Dooms. Keep in mind we could not have done that because we have skills 111, but we could have normal summoned it anyways, so it's not going to affect the game that much. But be careful when you're playing these Pendulum decks. You do need to be in between the scales. You cannot be at the same number as either of your scales. We're going to use the Genoldo to draw 2, discard 1, attempting to use the effect, but then quickly realize we do not have any legal targets in our extra deck or graveyard. Going to activate a copy of Past Lull, hit with a copy of Dominus Impulse. And you may think we have nowhere to go from here, but that Power Patron Dooms does not need a Dooms monster next to it to be able to use its rank up effect, so we will still be able to use our rank up technology with that. And we are going to see him do that here, going to target the level 10 Nervetto to rank it up into a copy of Jupiter, equipping itself to the new Xyz monster that's put up. Gonna go Jupiter effect, can equip any equip spells from the graveyard to it. Gonna equip the Doomdur. Love the artwork on all of these cards, though. I think they really went all out. We're really cooking with these Medius lore archetypes, all of them. Me, I'm impartial to DoomZ. It's my main deck at this point. We're gonna go the Jupiter effect to Reborn and pop a card, chaining the Mistaken Arrest just because we know it's gonna get popped anyway, so we might as well, and we don't want to see him search off that Amalth. We're gonna see the Jupiter pop the cat. And from here, we could have potentially got more follow-up by using this Shade the Obscure to bounce itself back. We could have had 2 level 4s to potentially keep playing, but a little bit of an oversight there. So we really just have these 2 bodies, and we just kind of have to pray that the Maliss Duelist does not draw its 1-card combos. But thankfully, with how many hits on the ban list this deck has taken, we really don't have many at this point. We're really just looking at maybe the field spell, Terraforming, because we can go Link 2, Banish the Cat, and that gives us a Link 3. Or we're looking for top decking Dormouse or White Rabbit. So we do have a few options that we could potentially top deck our way out of this on the Maliss side, but those are going to be few and far between. We see him beat in with the Amalth and the Jupiter. Going to pass turn over, and we just have to pray, please do not top deck Dormouse. Can we do it? And we just see a Chessy Cat going to normal summon, beat into the Jupiter, just kind of accepting this game is over. With that, we see the DoomZ Duelist having absolutely cooked his opponent. Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave any suggestions down in the comment section below. And as always, until next time, stay cooking.